Hi everyone, and welcome back to Red Sand Rising. I am Charlie as your GM, and with me as always are my friends. Hi friends.
Hello there, my name is Elias and I am playing Giovanni, the most well-dressed dwarf that Sandpoint has ever seen.
Hello, I'm Faye and I'm playing Sappho, a poetry-obsessed bard.
Hello, my name is Peter. I'm playing Tippless Bane, the bonking ranger mushroom in the group.
Hello, I'm Sylvia and I will be playing Jiji again.
We are back in our cave after our long and tedious fight against goblin ghouls? Last we left off, our Sandpoint adventurers had a long and tedious fight against those goblins. After going back and forth for a while, the group ended up defeating the bunch of goblins around them. And they were about to make their way to heal and keep forward as the party heard some mumbling from inside of the cave, with Giovanni figuring out the words, "Please let these bones animate. Please make this a living construct." I would like to start with a few corrections for some things from last session. Last sessions I have mentioned that Jiji saved against her roll and then still was afflicted by a curse. I am correcting that. Jiji would not be afflicted if she saved against the affliction. As well as we said we're going to check to see if the creatures are lit by her spell. The creatures themselves would have been lit, meaning they are no longer concealed. That is what the spell does, but not the area around them. There would not be a source of light, but they were themselves would be visible for anyone who doesn't see in darkness as well. Alright, we're jumping back in as our group hears this mumbling. You are still in the first part of the cave, the tunnel that leads into the opening. And Giovanni, as you hear those words, you notice you're the only one who noticed it. It's very soft, it's very small.
Oh yeah, just really quick before we start, Sappho and Tipp need to give themselves back the hero point, or Charlie has to give them back the hero point.
Oh yeah, we
Just
start
seeing
every
they don't have it
session.
right now.
We start every session with a hero point to always have. You can just mark it on your person. We start with every session when you have at least one.
So I believe when we left off, Giovanni was basically holding Gigi's arm and Jiji was getting like intrusive thoughts about eating her arm. Which
Yes.
I suppose she's able to resist after all and does
Absolutely.
not start eating her arm.
It did look tasty though. But you gave me this fruit, right? You cast something.
Exactly, yeah. Basically, Giovanni conjured up a very tasty looking fruit and offered that to Jiji to eat instead of her own arm. Believing that it might be tastier and more healthy all at once.
Does it have a special effect?
Yes, yeah. Here you can see what it does. It's basically the fresh produce ability, which means that once you eat it, you get 2d4 plus 6 healing. Which would
amazing.
basically make our party full HP again. And Giovanni,
Yeah.
having heard this whisper, this whispering voice off in the distance, is on high alert because no way Giovanni is gonna let them reanimate Elias' bones into a horrible, ugly, undead creature.
If I remember correctly, my perception was shit anyway, so I'm probably busy eating the fruit. I'm just nom.
So you're hearing these noises more on the inside. How's your course of action? What are your exploration activities as we are not currently in initiative? Are you stealthing? Are you walking around? Please describe to me what you're doing.
Well, Sappho will have a hard time with stealthing as she still cannot really see things, so is also holding on to Jiji once again. Basically to just be like, okay, I'm trusting, we have this trust relationship, and following. It is trying to be quiet, but also hasn't heard anything, so
Yeah, unless Giovanni alerts us to the noises, we all just heard like mumbling in the distance, but we can't really make out what is happening. So,
what did the voice say exactly again?
You heard the voice in common saying, "Please let these bones animate. Please make this a living construct." It sounded as if it was a prayer to someone or something of trying to create life or animation in the bones.
So Giovanni looks at everyone intently in the eyes and says, "Someone in there is trying to do a horrifically ugly thing to Dualia's body. We have no time to waste, friends. Let's march forward quickly."
Does somebody have a light, maybe? There won't be anything quick with me.
do we just rush in? Then I'll just cast light, because then we won't be stealthy anyway.
Yep. Let's go.
I would like to cast then light, I guess, on either Giovanni or Tipp, whoever is in.
I'll go first.
And Tipp again has my light catch up on him.
Alright.
And depending on how long, like how much time there is, if there's like 1 or 2 actions, basically, I would like to take the time to reapply poison to my dagger.
I believe since it's 2 actions essentially, you get the option to do those both. You are not in active initiative yet.
Yeah, that's
So
what I was
still,
hoping. I was just like,
yeah.
Would we get 2 turns basically?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
it's
believe
like
you
4
will get.
seconds.
It also depends on you. If you decide to take a moment to prepare, that is also something you can do before.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Come on, Jiji, no dallying. Someone is trying to reanimate undead bones. We have to get going.
Go ahead, I'm ranged anyways.
Alright, and with that, Giovanni kind of nudges Tipp forward to like start running towards the direction of the noise, while Giovanni keeps a bit of an eye out and is scouting for enemies.
Well, with my rather short legs, I run as fast as I can anyway. And I mean, moving into the cave, I see that there's sort of 2 different corridors, one to the north and one to the south.
Yes.
And I kind of stop quickly and look back at the group, like shrugging and saying, which way?
Now, here's the question. Did Giovanni actually hear which direction the whisper was coming from, or the voice?
So you
Do we
heard
also hear them more now?
I would say yes, you hear it louder, but it's an echo in the general room. If you would like to try to figure out exactly where it comes from, you can give me another perception roll blind. Or just walk around. Alright. Let me know who is rolling, because at the moment I only see Giovanni's roll.
I'd assume Tipp
he's-
might be rolling.
No, I didn't even hear it to begin with, so...
I mean, but it got pointed out now, so you could try to listen for it.
I trust Giovanni's ears.
Alright. I'm not rolling because I'm basically busy, as I already did 2 actions in the meantime.
No problem. Giovanni,
Sappho's in
you're
the
kind
back.
of... Sappho's what?
Sappho's in the back, and therefore, I don't think can pick up or like see that that's a struggle her friends are facing.
Agreeable. Giovanni, you're listening closely to figure out, is it to the right, to the left? There are so many tunnels here. You realize that the voice comes in a way. In front of you there's a wall and 2 routes, one to the left, one to the right, and the one that you see that goes to the right also has like another splitting. You understand that the voice is actually behind the wall. The wall that you see in front of you is essentially covering an entrance that you can go either way from. So you can certainly know whichever way you would choose, left or right, would end up going to the same location.
Alright, come on, Tipp. It's right behind that wall over there. Follow me. Here, I'll here, and Giovanni points at this like tiny corridor. Get in there, Tipp. I'm right behind you.
Get in there. This is like shoving me in there first. I see a creature.
Tipp. As you're rushing your way, you stop in the open of another one of the routes in the cave, a lot smaller than the others, just for a moment, as you see another creature further in, looking as if they are holding a staff made of makeshift of bones and rope, holding the staff above their head, as you hear the voice a lot louder now and common as well. Please let me animate these bones. Please create them into a living construct. You see in front of them what looks to be a bundle on a table. There's like a stone that is somehow repurposed as a table. On it there is a wrapped fabric around a lumpy shape. And next to that shape you hear the creature repeating, "Please let me animate the bones. Please let them become a living construct." As you are all rushing in, as you come in with the light, it is turned around just slightly with their head, as if just to look backwards, but not really, just to listen. And then they move their head back towards the slab in front of them and continue with what they are doing. You're positive they clocked you, they know you're there. You are less important than what he is doing.
I rush into the room, running up as far as they'll let me.
Somewhere around 10 feet from them is where they would actually start reacting. So if you're rushing into the room, we're gonna roll initiative here. Because they will stop.
Alright.
And we'll see who goes first. That was quick from initiative to initiative.
I still have the protection spell from last time. It currently says 7 rounds remaining. How many rounds have you taken down? Is it even still up?
It depends on how long the spell is. If it's a minute spell, you've taken more than a minute until you got here, because you took some time to take a fruit, to eat something.
Yes. It is 1 minute or so.
Then it's gone.
Then it's gone.
Take it off.
Just cleaning up the effect.
You can now all roll initiative.
That's a dirty 20.
That is a nat 1.
Also
Ooh,
okay.
That's a good roll. 18 plus 9. Oh, actually, we all have a +1 to initiative because Giovanni was kind of scouting and like on the ready for combat.
No problem.
So a +1 to everyone?
Yeah, you can add a +1. Make sure you let me know when these are happening, because we were like asking what were you actively doing. All right. Starting. The one who sees responding first, as they are turning around when Tipp is around 10 feet from them, is Giovanni. You see them turning around immediately as Tipp is 10 feet away.
What does Giovanni see there? What is this creature?
So, like the other ones that you are fighting, it does also look kind of goblin-y, ghoulish creature. But unlike the other ones who held swords on them and seems to be extremely biting and scratching and fighting, this one is holding what looks like a staff.
Alright. And Giovanni will just call out to this creature. Foul creature, if you dare disturb the dead, you will join them soon. As he like channels his elemental aura, really not amused about reanimation of dead bones going on here. And the aura of like water droplets and roses starts floating around in Giovanni again, slowly rising out of the ground. And with that, Giovanni will also immediately use a 1-action wood elemental blast on range against this creature. So I'm gonna do an attack roll here. Here it is. Targeting the creature. I have to use the targeting thing first. Alright. And Giovanni will like channel the living energy of the plants into the strike again. Basically infusing the elemental blast with the vitality energy, making it do vitality damage. And it's a 22.
22 would hit.
Would hit if Tipp wasn't in the way, or does hit?
Oh, does hit.
Does hit, okay, perfect.
Does hit.
Then I'm gonna roll damage, and maybe this time I can figure out how to make Foundry do vitality damage for me. Let's see if this works. Ooh, that's max 8 damage, but no, it still says bludgeoning.
It would be fatality. Unlike the other goblins, this one does seem to take damage, but not extra.
Alright, and Giovanni has 2 actions left right now, and with those 2 actions, Giovanni will, let's see, run up to this creature for 25 feet, I believe it is here. So Giovanni just sprints up to this creature and angrily attempts to just trip it onto the ground.
Before you do, as you get closer, the other ones had to move and shake, but this one, the moment you get closer to him, already smells absolutely horrifying. Please give me a fortitude save.
Oh shit, we should have brought the rose bush.
Giovanni didn't bring out the rose bush before.
Fuck.
Oh, big mistake.
That is a success. You are unaffected.
Alright,
you remember the memory of the rose bush. It's just strong.
At least the flowers in Giovanni's beard are still protecting him from the horrible smell.
Exactly.
Actually, Giovanni will not try to trip the creature. Giovanni will just try to full-on grab this creature and kind of choke it in like flowers and good-smelling stuff. You need a wash, little guy.
Choke it with
and
flowers.
And try to grab him. Ooh, that's a good roll.
Still high. That is a success.
Alright, so the creature is grabbed now, means it's flat-footed to any attacks against it. It can't move unless it escapes, and it has to pass like a DC 5 flat check to do any manipulate stuff. And that's Giovanni's turn.
That's quite a turn. Following Giovanni would be Sappho.
Well, I start off encouraging my friends once more. But yeah, I start off with the courageous anthem to
you get everyone.
all of my friends. I mean, I hope so. If they are that far away from me, we're in deep, deep trouble. And just to be quite certain that nothing is going to happen to my small friend, I'll be casting protection once again on Jiji. So again, armor class saving throws +1, and that's the end of my turn.
Following Sappho is Tipp.
I see that Giovanni has got a good hold of the creature, and I want to take advantage of that. As I shout, "Stop that!" and designate it as my hunted prey.
Yep.
I would then move in a way where I'm also flanking, just in case he gets out of the grapple eventually. So would I stand on the table, or can I even stand diagonally and still be flanking here? I actually just jump on the table as if to protect the bones from the creature, and start whacking it with a twin takedown.
Before you do, as you also walked into the area, please give me a fortitude save, and then you can give me whichever rolls you're going to roll.
Of course. That's a 17.
17 is a fail. You're going to become a sickened one from this condition.
All right. Let me quickly apply that. Sickened one. So that means I feel ill and I have a penalty on my checks and DC.
Yes, you can try to retch to remove it if you'd like.
Okay. No, I don't care. I think I've had this last round, last session, where I already described Tipp is a mushroom himself, and he's used to making other people sick. So he doesn't really care too much about it right now.
Very fitting.
So instead he'll still go ahead with the whacking. First with his Warhammer for a nat 20.
Ooh.
For a total of 29.
We just started.
Good start, I say.
You have not applied the Courageous Anthem.
Oh, I didn't, yeah.
It
would have been even more crit.
It would have been a crittier crit, yeah.
It would have been also more damage.
Let me apply that quickly then here. So then that's +1 to the damage, right? Or +2 because we double it for the crit?
Yes, I believe we do.
So that'll be then a total of 24 damage on my first...
I'm going to add 2 more.
On my first attack. But because it's a twin takedown, I also attack with my fork, which would be a nat 1 to balance out karma again.
What a strong duality.
All right. I whack him so hard that I guess he topples over a little, and even though he's grabbed. And then I just totally miss my second attack because I didn't think that the first one would hit so hard.
I mean, you're on a table with something between your legs. It's a bit difficult to move around.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I got the first one quite well, I guess because he's grabbed well. But never mind. Anyway, that's my turn. I'm happy with it. I did 24 damage in one turn. Easy.
That is amazing.
Let's go.
Great cooperation. Following Tipp is going to be our guy. Knowing their own abilities, they're going to try to release themselves from the grab. I would just need to check.
Action?
That is exactly what I'm checking.
Okay. No, trying to break free is not a manipulate action. You just have to succeed on an attack roll, athletics roll, or acrobatics roll against my Fortitude DC? Class DC? I'm not actually sure.
Fortitude DC.
Anymore. Which is 22.
22. They're going to use their unarmed strike, which would still count in their map even if they fail or succeed. So I'm doing it without a target. And it's going to be a fail, but not a critical fail, I believe. And not succeeding. They see that they're kind of between a hammer and a hard place, or whatever, however this tale is going as.
A mushroom and a dwarf.
A mushroom and a dwarf. And they're going to try to cast a spell, which is a manipulate action, so they need a flat check for that, but if they succeed, you still get an attack or reactive strike.
Alright.
So, DC 5. They pass the DC, so you can take your reactive strike as they start casting a spell as you as target.
With me as target.
Yes, you're the one. Giovanni is holding them, but you did a lot of damage.
So, being superstitious as Aleshi is, I would first try and smack him out of it and try to just get him to stop the spell altogether.
Yep, if you critically succeed, that will happen.
With that, it's a 23.
A 23 is not a crit even with off guard. It is a hit. So you don't stop the action, but you do definitely give them damage.
I will roll regular damage for 12 points of damage.
Nice damage.
And then I'll be targeted by a spell or magical effect, I assume.
Yes, it is a spell
really fun,
specifically.
Though, like, Giovanni just holding this little creature while Tipp just completely dismembers it.
Still smashing onto him. It's like, stop it! Stop! No! You don't reanimate bones! And I hit him even more.
They are mumbling a spell. It is an auditory effect, so if Sappho can do anything about that, you can try to intervene if you're in range, as they're going to cast Command on Tippler.
Well, as I said...
to check if 60 feet, yes, that you are in my range.
Yes.
So I will try to do a counter performance. You should still roll. I'll just also roll a performance check and you can take the higher one.
Yes.
Great.
Give me a DC, DC you don't know what, but give me a will save, please. And you can always choose to take Sappho's instead.
Mm-hmm.
You have a 25 as a backup.
That's a nice backup to have. Well, as I mentioned, Tippler's Bane is very superstitious of magic in general. So his Leshy superstition will kick in here.
Nice.
Well, I rolled poorly for a total of a 12 then if I add the Leshy superstition, so I'll gladly use the 25 from Sappho.
Absolutely. You... Please describe to me, what does Sappho do to interfere in the middle to you, like, be able to take that instead, as this creature is telling you, flee?
Like Sappho just takes a poem that has a very specific rhyme and rhythm that is very distracting, and it's just yelling that at Tipp, just be like, so that he, listens to that more, because it's just with a rhyme and you get into it, and it's easier to listen to that than to a command.
And it would be like, oh, Sappho, great poem. And then they turn to the creatures like, wait, did you say something?
Yes, just louder. Just being louder. More penetrating. Just like...
Very good.
Just like it's proving in real life. That did not go as they planned, and that would be their entire turn as they try to escape and cast a spell. Jiji, that would be you.
I mean, my little undead goblin wizard enemy here looks already quite hurt.
They are quite hurt.
I think I'll just try and finish him off.
Is he undead though? Because he didn't react to the vitality damage, right?
You can always recall
Charlie
knowledge
did
to see it.
describe them as looking ghoulish. We're not sure if they're completely undead.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, go ahead, finish him off.
Might be a live goblin who stuck too much to the ghoul goblins. I don't know.
Maybe they're just
He's doing evil things either way,
underground.
so...
Well,
yeah.
They're just not exposed to sun and their skin is very pale by now.
He would make for a great ad against meth.
I will just try and finish him off with a full 3 action force barrage. Which would be 3 missile.
Mm-hmm.
Does that roll each one individually? Yeah, it does.
Yes.
Oh, but you do actually only get the +1 from Courageous Anthem once total for the spell. So unfortunately from the total you will have to deduct 2 points of damage.
Still good damage anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. So
why would I only get 1?
Because it doesn't double or triple dip if a spell has multiple shots.
I mean,
basically.
it says +1 to attack rolls, and each is an attack roll, so it's a bit weird in the wording, but makes sense.
So I'm gonna, instead of 6 on the last one, I'm gonna give them 4.
Yeah, please do.
So I'm just gonna do 3 and then another.
I mean, in terms of resistances, since I'm hitting one target, either way, it would count as 1, basically.
Yes. Right. They took the full damage except for the +2 that was not. Still standing, but definitely not looking great.
But that would be my turn.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's still standing.
Sadly. Following Jiji, we're going all the way back to Giovanni.
Alright, so this creature is on its last legs. Just not looking good here. As it seems. So, Giovanni is kind of thinking and mumbling that, like, no way this little creature is smart enough to come up with this plot by itself. Let's question it and find out if it has any betters. As Giovanni will just start punching this creature, trying to knock it out but not kill it.
Alright, so non-lethal.
Yes, non-lethal. So
Okay.
basically Giovanni, like, a bunch of roses come up from his aura and channel around his fist, and like he just kind of starts punching the thing in the head, and not like hard enough to kill it, but hard enough to knock it out.
For
And
our
that would be
listeners, non-lethal is possible for whoever is doing a melee strike, and they just need to take a small minus for the hit. But other than that, they can always make non-lethal. Spells are unable to be non-lethal, as well as ranged weapons.
That would be an 18 to hit.
An 18 off guard does not hit.
Damn. Giovanni, apparently being too scared about bashing the little creature's head in, did not put enough force into the strike to actually hurt the creature. But that will not stop him from trying again.
Absolutely.
That was even a bit worse. Giovanni, not the most experienced person at just straight up hand-to-hand combat.
It's also
usually more
difficult
so
that you
relying
only
on
had
the
one
elements.
hand, because one is holding them.
Fair. And with this last action, Giovanni will attempt to... Actually, now with the multiple attack penalty, it's going to be very hard to keep it grabbed, but Giovanni will just still try. Nothing is going to stop him from trying. Okay. Whether it's a 3 or a 5, I don't think either one of them is going to manage to grab this creature.
I just want to double check, because I for some reason thought that you can just sustain it by, like, sustaining.
Oh, can I sustain a grapple? That's a good question, actually.
That's what I thought you can do that. Let me just double check that.
Grabbed.
Let's see. Refuse after a strike.
I don't think so, actually. I think it just automatically ends at the end of my turn, basically.
I thought you
There's no
needed to
bonus
use an
for
action to
regrabbing.
keep it going. But I honestly don't see anything on Archives of Nethys.
It even says in the grapple action that if you already had it grabbed, it ends, right? So on a failure or a critical failure.
Yeah, that would make sense. Well, we tried.
Is it a critical failure? Because on the critical failure, the target can either grab you
Ooh.
or force you to
Yeah,
fall and land
I'm
prone.
It's a 5, so it might just be a critical failure, as Giovanni is
Exactly.
being very clumsy about this entire hand-to-hand combat thing that he is not very experienced in. As usually, he is... Giovanni is just not willing to ruin his beard and clothes and get down and dirty, but in this case he makes an exception and immediately notices he's kind of out of his step a little bit here.
So essentially, this was a critical failure.
Alright, so the creature basically wiggles out of Giovanni's grab and can then grab Giovanni back or trip Giovanni, making Giovanni fall prone on the ground.
They are going to do the equivalent of... do they need to make you... As if you succeeded at using the grapple. I think they're going to just try to grab you, which is easier. Because knocking you down on the ground is not going to give them any more HP. Grabbing you might give them leverage.
Alright, so Giovanni is grabbed by the creature now.
No longer grabbed. That would be Giovanni's turn.
Yep.
Sappho.
Well, I will continue my courageous anthem so that my friends will be very encouraged. Again, so you can re-pull it all on you, because you'll have to do that. And then I will try to recall knowledge and get a sense of if us stopping him will actually stop the whole ritual, or just by starting it has already basically been in a process and we can't really stop it anymore.
Interesting. Give me a recall knowledge. You are, from listening to what this creature has been saying, and from what you can see, nothing seems to be magically active or ritualistically active at the moment. So you believe that it hasn't gone to a point where it's no longer reversible.
That's a good knowledge to have, or at least a belief to have. And I will try my best to distract it with a different poem about... I know that I pulled out a poetry book about the undead and maybe something about defeating the undead. Let's see.
I should have asked Giovanni to give me another fortitude save, as you are still in their aura. So I will remember it in general, but yes, I'm calling it out.
So I do.
Giovanni loves rolling fortitude saves.
Yes, you would. Yeah, this is a success. The Bon Mo.
Yeah, it's a 25 against their will DC. They need to know if it's 25 a success or a success.
Is a success.
Beautiful. Then the target is distracted and takes a -2 status penalty to perception will saves for a whole minute.
To perception and will saves.
Yes. And with that, it's the end of my turn.
-2. -2. Done. Following Sappho is going to be Tipp. Tipp, you are still flanking, but you now see that the creature is grabbing Giovanni in some weird course of events.
Oh, yeah,
please give me also another roll for your fortitude.
Is that actually a magical effect?
It is not. It's an aura and it's a olfactory.
Okay. Then fortitude save coming in. That is... Oh! It looks cocked on my screen, but I'll take the 25 that it says it is.
The 25 is a success. You are no longer sickened.
Very good. I spit at the creature as I do this. I think, I've smelt worse. And I kind of like sort of pout a bit, I guess is the word that I'm looking for.
Perfect.
And I remove the sickened and just in anger with him, like just with the entire situation, just start bonking him again. Full blown. I don't care who sent him. Or I wouldn't think of that, I guess. I just and because Giovanni didn't share his intentions, I saw that he tried to punch. I guess I'm a bit confused by that. I was like, "What are you doing? Just finish the guy!" And I just bonk extra hard for 30 on the die.
30 off guard is a crit.
And so I go again with a crit for 16 points of damage.
You see that they are like dry heaving, really bad looking.
But he's not dead.
On their last leg.
Well, then, luckily, that was a twin takedown, so I do get to attack with my fork as well. For 19, which I believe doesn't hit.
19. Off guard. Does.
Off guard it does, yeah. Well, nice. So regular damage, and that would be then 8 points of damage.
You see you deliver a strong punch. Being right next to them, I would like Giovanni and Tipp to give me a perception roll blind.
Okay.
Oops, that was not a blind one.
Blind GM roll. Here we go.
Both of you here, as you're close enough. Its hands like slowly letting go of Giovanni's body as it was grabbing it as hard as they could, and they start slumping down to the ground. As you can both hear their last words. Rip Nugget. Help.
Sorry, what?
Rip
Get
Nugget.
off me, you disgusting creature.
Rip Nugget?
Rip Nugget. Help.
Rip Nugget.
Do I know what that's supposed to be? Because me
You
as a
can
player,
give
I have
me.
no clue. But does Tippler's Bane, can he help me out?
You can give me a recall knowledge. It's going to be
Alright.
religion.
I guess blind as well.
Yes, every knowledge rolls would be blind.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's religion for you.
You're thinking about the name Rip Nugget. Have you heard it before? Did you encounter it before? I'm adding both of your roles as you're both trying to remember. Kind of even maybe conversing between the one another to be like, do we know this? Are we familiar with this? You come to the conclusion that both of you heard the name before, only in one context. As you, as an adventuring party, went on your second grand adventure to deal with a necromancer, you remember talking to a group of another adventuring party that was trying to escort some people between between Sandpoint to Magnamar, a place nearby, and they were kidnapped during their escort mission. And the thing that they kept mentioning, eventually they got freed by the one they were trying to escort, which was also counted to be quite humiliating. But they kept repeating, Rip Nugget would have killed us, as if it's a person.
Well,
Tipp, did you have to make such a mess of things? Do you see these blood splatters all over my beautiful clothes?
Doesn't have blood.
He doesn't have blood. Oh, wow.
All right.
I was going to make a joke of it then, but then I guess.
Never mind. Maybe I was just overreacting.
What are you talking about? There's no blood. That's
It's
the red.
fine,
That's
it's
the
fine.
red of your roses.
Still, maybe we could have gotten more information out of this creature. It was still in a state where it could speak. Jiji, Sappho, come over here. The creature said something in his dying breath that we're still kind of trying to figure out.
Okay.
Was it
yes.
visible to us from the distance that Giovanni and Tipp were affected by an aura?
You saw them immediately like closing their nose or like trying to move around it, or like something in the face would have been ick. So I believe you would figure out that it has active aura around the body. Yes.
Then I'd approach cautiously and see if it's still there, if I can figure that out somehow.
I mean, does it still affect us?
You are no longer affected because you both overcame a roll as being part of the effect.
Ah, true, okay. Then I wouldn't know. Like, I just got used to it. Yeah.
Essentially, you got used to the smell. Jiji, since we're not in active combat, I would tell you that the moment you go a bit too close, it still smells. It's the body itself. It's not like it's not an effect they were trying to create. It's just their stench. But you would realize
am I affected where I'm standing right now?
No. You would realize it's around 5 feet, meaning as long as you're more than 5 feet from it, you will be fine.
Okay, then I'll stay back a bit and...
Everything in the square right next to it is stinky, but Giovanni and Tipp already got used to the smell.
Yeah, Sappho, even with not being directly next to it, just takes out her masquerade scarf, not to disguise herself, but just to like pull it around her nose.
Yes.
To like not be, because we're in a small, rather round cave, so I'm assuming it's, a certain amount of smell is just there.
And I mean, if you let me, I guess since I do have better vision than Sappho, this is where I was standing before, just do a general perception check if there's more enemies approaching, if maybe someone heard the noise of the fight before I head into the like smaller cave, basically.
Please give me a blind perception roll.
Blind?
You look around. You don't hear or see anything, neither in the place you were earlier there or further down into the tunnel, but you definitely see that the tunnel in the further northern part, the one that becomes slightly narrow, seems to be going quite a bit further in. So you do know that like you can't see anyone at the moment, or hear anyone at the moment, or sense anyone at the moment. But you do know that there is like more to go into this place.
Alright, then I would join my allies, basically, the party. But I'd say that of like, we shouldn't dally too long. What, did he say something? But like, we have to clear the rest of the cave still.
Yes, one moment before we discuss. And Giovanni picks up this like little goblin cultist ghoul priest's body and just chucks it down like a few feet away from us, so it smells less. Also, out of the goblin's dead body, Giovanni like basically focuses his aura onto the goblin and makes like a little rose bush sprout out of his body. All right, that's more agreeable.
And I say, hey, wait! And I run after, and I want to check the body for anything valuable.
Oh, nice. Give me perception roll.
Fair points.
It's like, hey, wait a minute. Like, he might have something.
You still find some things as you're looking at this disgusting creature. First things first, they are wearing a leather armor that you are able to find on them. You also see they have this religious symbol, what would effectively be the bones that they are carrying, like as a necklace. And you also find a wand on their possession, which is not the staff they were holding. The staff they held was basically a combination of a bone and another bone tied up together. On their person, there's also a wand.
I take the religious symbol and I chuck the wand over to Jiji. It's like, here, just you have a look at it to see what it can do.
The bundle that we see on the stone, are those the remains of
Examining it, even without thorough examination, you immediately notice that these are remains. And as you try to slowly just make sure these are the remains you are looking for, it does sort of match to what you know of, like, yeah, she was indeed a Nephilim, but she was a human Nephilim, and it was kind of fitting with the bones that you find to be fitting with like the height that you're aware of, the size that you're aware of in general. You believe these are indeed Nualia's remains.
Then Sappho will very carefully pick them up and apologize to the remains that they have, been taken and that they now need to be carried by Sappho somewhere. But yeah, makes sure they're very carefully carried.
Are you planning on pulling them out and then returning, or walking around with the remains on you? Because walking with the remains would slow you down, essentially. It will be equivalent of carrying someone, which would mean it's going to give you one action less every round, because you're holding you're using an action to hold the remains.
Sappho is too worried to let the remains here in case somebody else comes and takes them. So
Wait, how heavy are these bones, though? It's like...
I think it's not
a
necessarily
full
heaviness.
human
I think
human
it's just.
skeleton, I guess. Yeah.
I think it's not even just about weight, but also about you have like one arm full.
Yes.
And
You're making sure you're
I'm totally
holding.
fine with this.
Mhm.
Like Sappho will take them, because also knows, well, there's a front line. Until somebody comes to me, I will be able to place them on the ground carefully, and and do that.
Yeah, letting
Just
go
make
would
sure.
be a free action.
Yeah, but that would be dropping.
Yes.
And we can't be doing that. Like, Nualia has suffered enough. So, but,
Indeed.
I mean, like, Sappho will just make sure to stay a little bit behind, and if we explore the cave more, to, like, just stay, like, 2 more steps, like, further behind, so that if something happens, she might have, like, the extra time to, like, place them gently on the ground. Or it is better for her to, like, be encumbered by it than, Giovanni or Tipp.
A small recap
Especially.
question. We were asked by Father Santos to return the remains, but also to clear the cave of danger, right?
Yes. Essentially 2 goals. You can always choose to say, let's return the remains and then go back to cleaning the cave. You can do the other way around, whichever you find more fitting to what your group would do.
Do we want to return these? I probably asked the group then.
I mean, I'd be fine with, like, holding them and then can continue exploring. I mean, I'm not the strongest, but I'm also not super weak. I mean, look, I've trained. Look, there's a little bit of a bulge
your
here on my
size gives
arm.
you a clear advantage. But, like, we don't know how much further this cave goes.
Yeah, you might be carrying them for a while. Maybe return them first.
Do you think that's safe? What if they, like, follow us to the dark, or...
Well, then
We have
I blind them.
Yeah. Look, the exit, it wasn't too far in the other way, so...
Yeah. Just bring it back up the hole and then we return.
Oh, okay. Then,
Here, come here, I'll lead you.
yes, because if I go there by myself without...
I mean, maybe
The
Tipp
shining
comes
beacon that you
with
are,
us into
Tipp,
the main hallway,
I,
at least.
I would lead the way with my light that I have on me.
Absolutely.
And
I'm gonna give a hero point for Sappho for insisting on carrying the body regardless if she can do it and what she is able to do in losing actions. Extremely heroic.
very good.
Oh, is there on the way back anything we can find on the other goblins' corpses that are still lying around here?
Ooh. You can give me another perception roll before you're essentially leaving and then returning, if I understand correctly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking at the bodies of the rest of them, they don't even wear actual armor. Their swords are just very dull pieces of stone. Their armors are just pieces of fabric connected together. You believe that these actually do carry nothing of worth completely.
No sense of fashion these ones have.
Did you think they would have them after you've seen them first? Do you think they would like some secret hidden fashion pieces?
Maybe they had some nice jewelry under the armor.
Honestly, with the lighting in here, I wouldn't take care of my appearance just as much either.
Maybe they did when they were still alive. Anyway,
Possibly.
I lead the way all the way up to the up the hole again, and we pop out at the graveyard.
Yeah, you leave the graveyard. Since you're going back the moment you deposit the body, I will leave you on the same map. You go back. Very quickly you find Vosk, who was walking around just to make sure that there was like a cover that they made above the grave from like a fabric, and on it some leaves to look natural on the outside, but for you to be able to go easily out of it. Very quickly, you notice the cover. You leave the opening. You go out towards the cathedral, and you get back and see Father Xantus pacing back and forth in the same room you had your lunch together not that long ago. And as you approach, like, you see they are on edge, so they're not surprised. They see something in the corner of the eye and immediately go, "Oh, friends, you're back."
Yeah, just wanted to quickly drop off the bones. We kind of want to head back into the hole just to make sure that there's nothing else lurking in there. So
You found it.
Well, I'm pretty certain they are hers, and as Tipp said, we've not yet finished looking through the whole cave, but we didn't want to leave her down there in case they would have like some secret entrances and would snatch her up again. So Sappho just gently hands over the bundle with the remains to him.
Thank you. I truly don't know how to thank you enough. And they take a deep breath and a sigh. We still have time. I truly appreciate your work. My friend, the one who would be helping me with the ritual, Audrani, she is not in town just yet. But she also mentioned that the ceremony, the ritual, would need to happen in a specific timeline on a full moon, so we do have some time to prepare. A couple of days. I am truly in your debt for your help.
Well, our work is not done yet, Father. There's probably more unholy, ugly creatures to cleanse in those caves down there. Speaking of which, have you heard of the name Rib Nuggets?
Rip?
wasn't it shit nugget? I misheard then.
Amazing.
God damn it.
Yep. Rip nuggets. Why do I feel like I know this name? I'm gonna roll Recall Knowledge for Father Xantus. They're kind of holding their head in their hand, close their eyes, and as if they're like trying to articulate a name and what could possibly connect to it. Rip Nugget. I am positive I've heard this. It's... Why? Oh! And it seems like something clocked in their mind. Rip Nugget. That was... They were once... affiliated with Nwalia's attack years ago. I remember because she mentioned them to be relevant. I don't believe they were part of her attack specifically, but definitely someone she was aware of. Goblins named them a lot. They were yelling. They were calling to Nualia and they were calling to Ripnugget the same way, as if they were both people they follow. I have never seen Ripnugget or anyone under that name, but I am positive.
The little creatures, the little undead goblins in those caves were calling out that name with their last dying breath. Could those goblins perhaps still be remains of Nualia's attack and been alive or unalive in those caves all these years?
That is certainly a possibility. After all, if you're describing... You mentioned these little, as you said, these little shits. Were they goblins? Or ghouls?
Both?
Probably both.
It is very much likely that these were the goblins employed by Nualia on the attack years ago when she was still raging. And whoever brought them back, or whatever brought them back, it seems like they have new allegiances, or old allegiances, as I've heard that name walking around in a while, but never in our city, never in our town, always out of it. Fascinating.
Well, perhaps these caves will lead to some more clues about the entire situation. We should get back farther.
Thank you very much. It is... I cannot thank you enough.
Well, thank us again after we're back.
And with that, I just start marching out of the room.
They're probably already used to you being you and like give you a smile and a nod as you all walk out. Do you do any stops on the way, or do you go immediately back to the place?
I would go back.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yep, sounds good.
You're going back. You don't see any large changes or something that would indicate that someone was here in this short time that you guys went to move the bones away.
So, which way should we go now?
So the bodies from the ghouls are all still lying there?
Yes.
Alright. Then I will... I mean, Tipp still has my light, so...
Yep.
That is great. And I point to that path at the north end of the cave. And I say, like, that looks like it's leading in through there. Should we investigate?
Sure. Sounds good.
Right behind you, Tipp, as always.
Yes.
I'll lead the way.
I'm moving.
Now
I think
also
Sappho is stuck
less
in the
fearful
darkness.
after I feel like we killed most of these creatures fairly easily, so I'm not gonna even...
I mean, you are a bright, shining light, so...
Exactly. No, I'm not even gonna attempt to stealth again, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever comes our way, we'll just get rid of it.
Yes. Though, do tell me what are your exploration activities.
Yeah, go ahead.
Giovanni will investigate, so just trying to recall knowledge about stuff around him, or recall knowledge if we encounter any creature, anything interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, similar. I guess on a lookout, so like trying to notice if there's something moving, if I hear anything. So like perception.
Yeah, so would you like to search for hiding creatures and hiding secrets, or would you like to just essentially give a +1 for initiative as you're scouting?
I guess initiative, since we might still encounter enemies.
Yes. Alright, so Gigi is scouting.
Yeah, I would probably look for tracks and see if there's anything more around here that looks like there's more creatures around, essentially. So in a way, I guess scouting, but yeah, more focused on tracks, essentially.
If you
So
would like
seeking,
to,
basically,
yeah.
just using perception to find stuff like
Yeah.
enemies and traps and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like steps, tracks, secret doors, anything like that. What of Sappho?
Well, I would just, with it when it comes to like finding potentially traps or anything, just because it is a cantrip to just send, like sometimes use detect magic to see if there is anything, magical around us that might be happening.
Already I can tell you that you already noticed magic that you are not already familiar with from yourself and your friends.
I'm noting something else besides us?
Yes. You notice something else beside you. At least a type of magic. Something is pinging your magical aura.
As in, it might be the unidentified magical items we have in our bag?
I would say you can also account for the fact that this is probably magical. Something in addition to that.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Just be careful. Giovanni, there's something with magic here. Don't, it's not the usual things. But I
Sappho, did you just call me Captain Giovanni?
I mean, you make a very stately. I've read this. I read this story, and there were great poems in it, and I must have just been a bit confused. I'm so sorry.
I'll take it. It has a nice ring to it.
I like it.
Feel free to call me Captain Giovanni anytime. Really.
Well, all right, Captain. What do you say we step further into this cave?
Wait, so Sappho, just one question. Do you notice this magic around us at anywhere we are, not just here, but also like earlier in the cave?
You did not, in fact, feel it earlier in the cave, only when you started approaching where you are at the moment.
That is very good. No, it started around this corner here, so yeah, just be mindful of it and watch out.
Be on your toes if you notice anything, Tipp. Let's get in there.
Does he need to be on his tippy toes?
Do I? You beat me to it.
God damn it.
I'll be on my tips. Anyway, I move into this new room, which looks tiny.
You move in. This room, unlike the whole cave you walked through, is built stone and brick on the walls, lit up completely, magically. You see lights on the walls as if hasn't been something or someone made these lights permanently be here. Inside this room, you can see a pile of rubble blocking a wooden door, as if it has fallen from the ceiling on the ground. I'm gonna ask for whoever's in the room or going into the room to give me a perception roll blind.
So, since I'm seeking,
you get a free one in addition to the ones that you will give me for something else here. So I'm gonna roll one for you, and you can give me another one.
Wait, what?
Your seeking means that you can get a chance to find hidden things as something that I would be rolling for you, as you do not know if you're rolling anything for a hidden door. Essentially, you don't know when you're supposed to roll, so these are the rolls that I will be rolling for you. The perception that I'm asking for now is in a different relevance to finding something. So that you will be rolling actively.
Do I count as entering the room, or would I need to stay one more step?
It would need to be inside the room to find.
So one more. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just want a regular blind perception check from us then?
Yes. Essentially for you, Tipp, I am personally rolling whenever there's something you might be able to find because you're seeking.
Okay.
I just want to bait us all into the room so you can activate your fireball trap.
Yes, you all activate my fireball. You're all foiled. Ha ha ha.
The campaign is over. You are all dead.
No.
Campaign is over.
She's still there and can save us, so it's all good.
I will come to the rescue.
Hey. Okay. So what do
You're
we find?
looking around this room. You're noticing a few things. Mostly, Sappho and Giovanni, you're looking around on the walls, trying to figure out a little more about when was this built, how was this built. You're a bit more occupied in the fact that this actually exists here, more than anything else. Tipp, you're looking at the rubble that is blocking the entrance to the door, the only door that you can see in this room. Inside the rubble, you find two significant things. The first thing you find is what looks to be like an unusual object, as if a tooth of some sort. That does seem a bit more different. Not necessarily like, oh, this is just a tooth. More like, this might actually be an item.
Wait, so isn't a tooth an item anyway?
More in the sense of this might actually be a type of usable item. It just looks like a tooth.
Okay.
Additionally,
I put the tooth up to my mouth and turned to the others and say, "Look, I'm a monster."
amazing.
And then I just give it to Giovanni and say, "What do you know what this is?"
It's unsanitary is what it is.
Well, just because I licked it. What else do I find?
Additionally to the item that you find, you see a lot of body parts of the same types of ghoul goblin things you fought. And you piece it together. I moved you somewhere. By accident.
Oops.
You saw nothing.
Yep.
Essentially, you piece it together. There was a trap on the ceiling of where you are that would have been activated the moment someone tries to open the door. And they got here first and activated the trap. You know there is no trap in the room because you see the result of the trap being activated. You do know that if you would like to go through this door, it's gonna take a while to move all of the stones away. But you do understand, oh, they found this place first, activated the trap, and died.
So I also gather then that the trap is a one-off thing and it doesn't rearm after?
Exactly.
Okay.
Can we figure out how long ago that happened? Like how old or fresh are the remains?
Yeah, I'm gonna say give me a medicine roll.
Can I roll that from back here?
You can. I would say you would approach.
Figure that out.
Yeah, I would say you would either approach a little bit. This would be probably enough. If you're like 10 feet away from them, it's enough to do your medicine roll.
I'm not great at medicine, so I'm mostly just asking the party the same of like, how long do you think this?
You can assist or like aid Giovanni in a medicine roll.
Yeah, that
and like try
might
to
have
figure
been
it out
better.
together.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, and I'll assist you.
Blind GM roll. And you
Yes,
can roll
please.
an open medicine check, and if you get 15 or higher, you give me a +1 to my roll, basically.
Oh wait, it's not
Or
open.
a +2
Can
if
you
it's
reveal
a
it?
20. Yes. Making sure I'm revealing the right thing.
Nope.
It is a 7. It's not a +1, but it's not a -1. You're examining the bodies. These bodies are fresh. No more than a day or two.
Alright, I will share that. These little fuckers have only been there for like a day or two max.
Well, we should probably have a look what's behind that door.
Right after you.
I-
I'm a
It is-
gentleman.
I start just digging away the rubble and look at the others in anticipation of like, so is anyone gonna help? I don't actually say that, but like my face says it all. Kind of.
You need help with what?
Moving the
Sorry.
rubble from the door. It's going to take around 10 minutes to remove all the rubble so you can actually open the door. So you can take
Oh.
this time essentially for 10 minutes, either identifying, moving the rubble, refocus, whichever you choose.
I will be helping Tipp. It won't be as helpful as other people might be, but trying to be useful.
I'm getting real bad flashbacks from my youth right here, having to dig around in rubble and rocks. I don't like this. I'm gonna go identify some stuff in the meantime.
Alright,
Did we
you can tell
clear
me-
the whole rest of the cave, or were there different entrances?
There was another way you could have gone to that you didn't check just yet.
Mm-hmm. Then I would basically watch the entrance path that we came from.
Yeah, absolutely. What is Giovanni trying to identify? You found two things today. You found a wand, and you found a tooth item.
I mean, Tipp also just gave me an item.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
tooth.
that's what.
Exactly.
That's a tooth.
Yeah.
And
What
I-
if I
I-
identified a tooth?
Yeah, I just asked you to even identify that, so I guess that would be nice.
I mean, I can also do that if you want me to.
You can both take these 10 minutes to try to identify something, either the same thing or something else.
How good was Giovanni with identifying things? And
It depends on what kind of thing. That's what I was also gonna ask is, do I know like what kind of skill I would need to identify what kind of thing?
Yes, I would be presenting the skills that you can use. It's always either crafting, if it's non-magical, or one of the knowledge skills. Any of them.
Okay. Okay, if it's any of them, then I can identify any non-crafting thing. I'm bad at the crafting stuff. But yeah,
These-
then I would identify the tooth that Tipp just gave me in this case.
Alright, so I'm presenting the tooth.
If that is not crafting. If it is crafting, I will take something else.
These you can roll for the tooth that you find.
Perfect.
Is Jiji doing the same one, or is she trying to identify the wand?
would the wand be crafting or also
Also a magical thing.
Wait, didn't I? I think I actually took the crafter's appraisal.
You
I
did, I
can-
believe.
I believe I can use my crafting for any of the.
Yes, you can use your crafting for any of those. So essentially, they have the same DC, but you can just roll crafting instead.
Then I'll try to figure out. I mean, I guess the tooth might be more relevant because it was in the rubble, but since
You can both try to
Giovanni-
identify the tooth together. Since you're
Does it
doing
give
the
us a
same,
bonus or something.
you would be doing it at the same time, so you can either roll separately on the same thing, or you can try to aid someone if you're doing on the same item.
I'll just do it separately. Then we have basically two chances. Then that would be the wand,
Yeah,
right?
I think.
Then give me a blind crafting roll. I'm just going to compare it to the DC that is needed. Perfect. Giovanni, you are unable to identify this item. However, Jiji,
Just the tooth.
as the tooth. Jiji, as you're looking at it, you identify this as this is a shark tooth's charm. It is something that you can use as a single use, as a talisman of sort. It is a small shark's tooth talisman that you can affix to either you can activate it as a bracelet thing, and you can use it to escape with a +1 bonus to your check of escaping. And if you roll a success, you get a critical success instead. If you roll a critical failure, you get a failure instead. And if you roll a fail with the acrobatics check against the grabbing of the creature must either release you as a free action or take 2d8 piercing damage as the shark's teeth momentarily emerge from your skin. This is very useful if you try to, like, be ungrabbed.
Hey, you were grabbed earlier. This is, like, you should take it, Giovanni.
If I gather that correctly, then it only helps if you're trying to be, like, acrobatic about it, which, let's put it that way, is not exactly one of my strengths.
But I mean, you and Tipp are usually close to the enemy. Maybe Tipp can make better use of it? Hey, Tipp!
Hey, Tipp! Can you jump well?
Can I jump well? So, I mean, on my sheet it says +8 to acrobatics, so I guess, yes. So yeah, you see me jump. Of course I can.
Might make use of this item here. And I, like, walk over and share it.
And you tell me what it does and say, well, I'm the one who found it anyway, so I guess it makes sense.
Finders keepers, then.
I take it.
You take the item.
Yep.
After 10 minutes of Sappho and Tipp clearing out the rubble while Giovanni and Jiji were identifying the item, you make a clear way to the door in this room that you are able to open.
Very good. I go ahead and open the door.
You open the door into what looks like another lit corridor. It is completely constructed. Everything here is extremely specifically built. You walk into the corridor, and as all of you start going in through this, still nothing around living or jumping or moving or responding to anything that you're doing. I would like everyone, as you already go into the corridor, to give me an intelligently based roll. One of the intelligent based, either nature, religion, arcana, or what did I forget? Occultism.
Nature and religion are wisdom based in Pathfinder.
I'm sorry, one of the magic identification ones.
Magic schools.
Yes.
Okay, magic traditions, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Blind?
So
Thank
nature,
you.
Occultism, religion, or arcana.
Exactly.
It's gonna be...
Is a blind roll?
Yes, as a blind roll.
I wanted to also say that with, like, going through this door, because Sappho is rather cautious, just, starts more loudly or, like, just mumbling, or actually saying some other, like, poems that get the sense of, how to protect yourself and protect your friends, because I am afraid of, like, things happening. It would just be basically saying a rallying anthem in between.
Okay. Absolutely.
Because,
I'd also love to figure out how long this corridor is, or like what's happening in there, because I can't really see it from behind Giovanni and Tipp yet. Before
you
walking
can move yourselves
essentially
in as you like. Just generally, just from looking or going into the corridor is what you just rolled about.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, like, do we think there's like more traps here? Because I could make an elixir or something.
I would still be seeking in general.
Yes.
Wait, Gigi, you can make an elixir that just saves you from traps?
No, but like it sharpens your eyes so you see them more easily.
Ah, yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. That would be useful, perhaps.
I mean, if
I
it
don't
just
know how long
automatically
does it take
saves
to
you.
brew an elixir, though. I don't know. It feels like it would take like a few hours or something.
No, I have the alchemist education, as in I can do quick alchemy.
Oh yeah, no, I remember you can like whip up a potion in like a few seconds, can't you?
She's better than
I mean,
those
it won't that quick, but
bartenders.
if you drink it right now,
But I'd take one. I mean, they tend to taste pretty good, usually.
that's
Yeah,
extra
sure.
sugar.
How many would Gigi be making then?
With the quick alchemy, it's only one.
Okay, well then give that to Giovanni since he likes them so much.
And I
Alright,
would-
Giovanni savors every drop of this elixir and will, of course, now start seeking and using perception instead of like investigating as the downtime or like the exploration thing.
Alright.
Oh wait, I
As you
shared
all-
it in secret. You can.
Oh yeah, how do I drink it? I
Yeah,
have to.
you can just pull
drink
the
it
effect
from
onto
the
you.
Oh no, here it is. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
It's the Eagle Eye Elixir, which sharpens your eyes, and you get a +2 when attempting to find secret doors or traps.
And +1 to all perception checks generally. Yeah, that's really nice.
As you all walk into this corridor, looking around, examining what's around you, discussing about maybe we should actually drink some elixirs to see more things, to see traps, to see secret doors, whatever we can find. Giovanni, you look around, glossing your eyes over the wall, and you suddenly stop. Frozen. Not by anything outer, but from a thought that has just dawned onto you.
This was the most delicious potion I've ever drank. God damn it. I have to stop and take this info mode. Wait, there's something else.
As you're looking at the walls, the structure, the building, all of it, you come to a realization, or at least a wise guess. The place you are walking in is not just old. This is before Earthfall old. This is more than 10,000 years ago old. This is absolutely maddening how a structure like this has survived Earthfall and became covered in time, and you are walking on something, in something that someone built thousands of years ago. To what purpose? To what occasion? You have no clue. But the realization itself is enough to stop you on your feet for a moment of shock. Which is also where we're going to end our session today.
No.
Wah, wah.
Got that.
Even before you can share
Alright.
this, so everyone else is just blissfully ignorant of the old
La-di-da.
stuff that we're stepping on.
What a nice
I feel like
wall.
we should not be going in here. We should just be reporting to the nearest archaeologists so they can like excavate this
Hello? Is it me?
treasure. Okay, maybe you.
I mean,
We already have one with us.
Where they escort squad. So
Exactly.
It's fine.
It's all good.
Hello, we found
We
a
can be
relic.
here.
Also,
Maybe we find some really nice old poetry in there, okay?
like, last time when they uncovered this old Taslan dungeon, they also asked us to clear it out because there was like lots of like monsters in there. So
Fair enough.
I don't think the archaeologists will just want walls in there unprotected. So.
And if they have any warnings written out, I can read them, don't worry.
This place, it absolutely looks as if you, like the wall that you went through, the one that before you moved away, absolutely looks as if like something dug here just for the sake of digging accidentally stumbled upon this.
Well, we'll get to the bottom of this.
Sure will. But that will be it for our session today. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, goodbye.
The next time.
Thank you. Bye.
See you all next time.
See ya.
Red Sun Rising is made by Of Dice and Dinner, produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy. Red Sun Rising uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's fan content policy at paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Red Sun Rising is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. Original characters and content are the property of Dice and Dinner. Our podcast intro-outro theme is made by Frieda, Melando, and Shachar Bieber. Of Dice and Dinner is happy to be in touch, and our email is the best way to do so. That's ofdiceanddinnerpodcast@gmail.com.